Welcome to Pets in Paradise TV. Here's what's coming up in the next half hour. It's always heartwarming when a tragic story has a happy ending, especially about a family pet. We'll hear all about a dog named Kumo and how a backyard accident sent his family into a tailspin.
He caught his feet in the grass and it twisted his back, and all I heard was a yelp.
Some cats, when you pick them up, turn into a wild, frantic, writhing mass of fur and claws. But not this cat. This one does just the opposite. We'll meet the ragdoll cat. Will a guinea pig say cheese? Not sure about that. But in a moment, we'll meet a pet photographer who shoots everything from dogs in hula skirts to rock star rodents.
Guinea pigs and Punk, I like it because, it shows his personality.
It's all ahead on Pets in Paradise TV. You know your pet is beautiful, but getting that beauty captured on film is a whole different story. In this segment, we follow one of Hawaii's top pet photographers to learn what it takes to get a good pet photo.
I'm Lonnie Sanders. I've been photographing pets since around 2008 exclusively. I've done over 1,000 pets.
With that much experience, Lonnie shares a few easy tricks that you can use to get the perfect shot.
And it's something I just fell in love with, and I couldn't stop. I loved it. I found my passion, and I'm happy to keep working.
And if you actually duck behind me, like you're hiding, his eyes will come down to perfect.
Lonnie's first tip, get down and get eye level with your pet.
I was doing a Paws in Paradise calendar, and what that is, dogs showing the beauty of Hawaii, and we want everyone to have an aloha theme.
A successful picture is one that conveys character. You can use a treat to motivate your pet to do his favorite trick, or one that captures his personality. And what's a photo shoot without an outfit, right? Picking props that go with the outfit and help make the photo pop.
There's a giant ominous cloud behind us, so time is of the essence. We'll go towards the light.
But even with the perfect outfit, treats, and setup, pet photo shoots might not go as planned.
The day of the shoot, the weather was a little iffy. We got there right in time. There was a storm coming over. We actually had to run from the clouds to keep the light. It was really exciting.
I can put that behind my head so he looks down just a little.
But we pulled it off.
Despite the weather, the photos turned out great. But if you thought that was hard, let's see Lonnie work her magic on a pet that doesn't do tricks and doesn't wear outfits.
Today we're shooting Rupert. He's a really cute little guinea pig. He's got crazy hair, and his owner, Carrie, wants to make him into a punk rocker. And he looks kind of punk, so we'll see how it goes.
Rupert is funny. He loves peppers more than anything. And I have a 6-year-old Weimaraner as well, and they play together. Cuddles. He'll cuddle with you.
Humans aren't the only ones that get camera shy. Pets can get nervous too. Pet owners should stay close, and treats should help the pets relax.
Just put his front legs up on the guitar.
You don't want to overdo it either and stress out your pet. It's okay to take a break.
Guinea pigs and Punk, I like it because, it shows his personality. Rupert's a rebel. His hair is kind of rebellious, so I think it'll fit his personality.
You're such a rocker, Rupert.
I'm actually rocking Rupert.
While Rupert's not really one for poses, a few playful props can help give him the appearance of a bona fide rock star.
Guinea pigs are a little difficult to kind of get them to look into the camera. I can't really predict their body language as easy as I can a dog. You just kind of hope for the best, and hopefully Carrie's got a good relationship with Rupert and can help guide him. But usually they don't run around too much, but hopefully he won't run away.
Out of the 10 breeds, Rupert is a silky.
We got it before it fell.
I got Rupert through Petco. He is a little bit special needs, and I knew that when I got him because he has a prolapsed penis, so his hair grows around it, so it'll swell really big, so I get to manscape him about every other day. Great shot, Rupert!
Good job, Rupert.
I mean, he's a joy. Like, he's so funny and definitely has his own personality. He loves to play. He loves to play with our dog. He loves to cuddle.
We're good to go.
Yay! Good job, Rupert.
You did so good, Rupert.
I think Rupert's gonna have a future in modeling. Other than that, he's gonna get to travel probably the world a little bit. And he likes to give smooches. But I don't know if he'll give me any, but no, okay. He's had a traumatic day.
Go ahead and sit on the floor right in the middle of that. No, not too far back towards the back. Oh, yeah. We saw Carrie actually did a little modeling herself, so she looks very photogenic to me, and we're just gonna do a quick little portrait of her and Rupert together. I'm gonna put him up on top of your head, and we'll just have you go.
Look up.
Yeah. Okay, so let me balance him up there, and if you feel him falling off you.
I'm hoping he doesn't pee on me. He'll probably make poop, but
When taking photos of your own, look for opportunities to try something new, experiment, and don't be afraid to get in front of the camera yourself.
Okay.
good job, buddy.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap. Whether you're looking to capture your pet as a rock star or the ambassador of Aloha, what you really need to know is patience is the key to getting the photos you want. A guinea pig is often confused with a hamster. They're both cute. They both make good pets. Are they actually the same animal? We'll find out right after this. Guinea pigs and hamsters are both rodents, but they're different species of rodents, and although they look similar and are both common household pets, they have their differences. First of all, guinea pigs are much bigger than hamsters, which are much smaller and tend to be escape artists. Hamsters are also nocturnal and often make a lot of racket in their cage at night, whereas guinea pigs sleep at the same time you do. Hamsters carry food in cheek pouches. Guinea pigs do not. What they do have in common is that they like to be cuddled, although they're not as relaxed when you pick them up as our next guest. Today, it's all about the ragdoll cat. One of the most distinctive breeds of cats is the ragdoll. It looks somewhat like a Siamese or a Himalayan with blue eyes and distinct color points, but its odd behavior is what makes it stand out. What's odd compared to most cats is that the ragdoll goes limp when you pick it up, hence the name. The breed was developed in the 1960s by an American breeder, Ann Baker, who liked the look of the cat and its great personality and its tendency to go limp when held. Baker liked the breed so much, in fact, that she kept it to herself, forming a ragdoll group apart from any other cat registry association. She even trademarked the name Ragdoll, and it wasn't until after her death, when the trademark expired, that the name became available to other breeders. Today, the Ragdoll is recognized by all the major associations and is popular both in the United States and in Great Britain, where it was imported. The Ragdoll is one of the largest breeds of cats, weighing in at 8 to 15 pounds for a female and a whopping 12 to 20 pounds for a male. They're slow maturing and don't reach full weight until they're 4. They are considered semi-long-haired and come in a half-dozen colors, including white, red, chocolate, blue, lilac, and cream. Their points consist of one darker color at the extremities. Their coats, even though fairly long, don't have much of an undercoat, which makes them less likely to tangle and mat. They shed about the same as any semi-long-haired breed. As for health issues, Ragdolls join the Siamese in having the lowest survival rate of any cat breed, with only 63% living to 10 years or older. Issues include urinary problems and heart disease. The Ragdoll's personality is considered dog-like. It's not uncommon for them to run and greet you at the door, follow you around the house, and some can even fetch, much like a Siamese. But their most unusual personality characteristic is their tendency to collapse in the arms of anyone who holds them, even if they're on their backs. They're not excessively vocal cats, but will ask you politely for a snack in a soft voice when they're hungry. Ragdolls are fun to play with and seldom extend their claws when playing. They don't mind being dressed up in costumes or riding in a baby stroller. They get along fine with other cats as well as cat-friendly dogs. Some Ragdoll owners say that if a dog is man's best friend, then the Ragdoll must be man's best companion. And now you know all about the Ragdoll cat. Although Ragdoll cats are big, they're not the biggest breed of cats. Do you know what the biggest breed is and how much they weigh? We'll find out right after this. A male Ragdoll cat generally weighs 12 to 20 pounds, but that's nothing compared with a Savannah cat, which typically weighs around 30. A Savannah is a cross between a domestic cat and a wild African cat, which gives it its size. Of purely domestic cats, the Maine Coon is considered the biggest, with males generally weighing in at 25 pounds when fully grown. But when it comes to big cats or dogs as pets, the love of an owner can really make a difference in times of tragedy, as we find out next. Losing a pet is hard. Moving on to a new pet can be even harder. In this story, we witness one man's healing heart and one dog's determination to walk again. It all started with this puppy.
We knew that if we did not take this dog, that it was going to be his last option of a rescue.
I had a Rhodesian Ridgeback when I was a kid, full-bred, AKC registered dog, and I've always liked the breed. It had been 2 decades before I was able to get Kumo. I just couldn't bring myself to having another one after I had him.
Jonathan had his first dog for 11 years, but sadly, medical problems forced him to put the dog down.
John was a little leery about, I don't want to get that connected to a dog again and have something happen.
It took, let's just say it took 2 decades before I could get another dog. That's part of the reason I wasn't too keen on getting another dog. But I have no regrets. I think he likes to just do what I like to do, or likes doing what I'm doing, hanging out.
And he's not my dog anymore. He's his dog.
He is my best friend. Yeah, right. Yeah, he is my best friend.
Besides me.
Well.
This second forever friend grew up into everything you could hope for in a dog. Then suddenly everything changed.
I came home from work on that evening, and John was throwing the tennis ball down the driveway for the dog. And we were throwing the tennis ball back and forth down the driveway, and we'd bounce it, and he'd jump up in the air. And John threw one low grounding ball. Kumo would usually get to the ball and overrun it, and then his back would come up, and that was quite often for him. But as he hit the ball and overran it, he caught his feet in the grass, and it twisted his back, and all I heard was a yelp. And I look over, and he's down on the ground, and he's dragging his back legs. John ran over to him, and he was dragging his legs on the ground, and I said, just, lay with him on the ground. And he's either paralyzed or, something's wrong here.
Wasting no time, the couple did the right thing and rushed Kumo to the vet.
And I'm on the phone all the way, calling VCA, telling him we have a dog that's got either a bad back injury, he cannot move his back legs, and my husband's in the back of the truck with the dog, and we're on our way. Can you have somebody waiting for us?
Once they got to the vet, the test started.
Kumo Bowers was presented to us at about 6 o'clock in the evening. His chief complaint was that he was running around playing ball, suddenly became paralyzed in his hind legs.
We're like, please don't let anything happen to this dog.
Kumo's injury left him in bad shape, unable to move his back legs and facing an uncertain future. Kumo's owners were left with a tough decision, and in a moment we'll find out how they dealt with Kumo's future. Spinal injuries in dogs are not unusual. In fact, they're in the top 10 when it comes to common dog injuries. What are the top 3 injuries? We'll find out right after this. Spinal injuries are the 7th most common injury in dogs. The top 3 are soft tissue trauma, that's a bruise or contusion. The second is a minor ligament tear. And the 3rd most common injury in dogs is a bite wound or laceration. Some injuries to dogs may seem minor, but a visit to the vet is a must to make sure there aren't other less noticeable problems. Let's get back to Kumo, the Rhodesian Ridgeback who was healthy and physically active at one moment, but then suffered an injury while playing an innocent game of catch and was left partially paralyzed. Kumo's owners rushed him to the vet where tests began, but the problem was not easily diagnosed. Life for Kumo's owners was suddenly turned upside down.
So Kumo was admitted into the hospital that night, was started on medical therapy for paralysis.
A dog's spine is highly sensitive. Many times injuries to the spine leave the dog paralyzed. But was that the case with Kumo?
I'm thinking the worst. I always think the worst, but I was just thinking this is terrible. There's just no way.
We have a choice for our diagnoses is either a herniated disc causing his paralysis, or he may have suffered a blood clot to that portion of his spinal cord causing the paralysis.
Trying to find out what was wrong with Kumo was no easy task. It didn't take hours, it took days. The couple had no choice but to wait.
We came home and we both were like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I went back in Monday. We actually both went in.
I took you in on my way to work.
Yeah, he took me in on the way to work. And I actually stayed and I crawled in the kennel with him. Hit my head by his head, and I actually just laid basically in the kennel with him for probably another 2 or 3 hours at least.
Yeah.
Until they said, you just need to give him some time to rest, and you need to go home and get some rest yourself.
After all that, the vet came back with nothing. There was nothing he could do for Kumo. So he returned home, unable to use his back legs. The couple had to care for him constantly.
A day in the life of this dog was we would have to get up in the morning and we would have to bath him, wet him down.
He's a 70-pound dog. He was eating and drinking fine. What goes in's got to come out. So we were doing a load of laundry every night. And during these times, of course, you think, we can't go on like this for the dog's sake. And it brought back the decision I had to make 20 somewhat years ago about putting a dog down. And it was terrible. Those were terrible times, yeah.
But things always seemed darkest before the dawn, and Kumo himself would reveal that.
And then one day I came home from work, and Kumo was actually standing up in his containment, and I was just overjoyed. I knew at that point that we actually had hope, and that we could make a life for the dog.
We'll never know what happened to Kumo, how exactly he got hurt, or how he was able to get back on his feet again. But his story shows that dogs are fighters, they're resilient, and lots of love and lots of patience can help.
This is a miracle that this dog has progressed from where he was to where he is today. The vet told us a lot of people at this point would not invest the time or the money into this, and they would have just put their dog down. But I was not going to give that up. a pup. And for anybody who has a dog who had been through this, just give it time.
Just give it time. There's no guarantees.
There's no guarantees, but you have to at least try and know that you've done everything you can. And you don't want to try and give it all you can. Look in their eye and they'll tell you whether they're going to be able to make it or not.
In this case, Kumo made it and is thriving. A testament that faith, love, and patience do work. Welcome to Pets in Paradise TV, the show that explores the relationship between humans and animals in one of the most beautiful places on Earth, Hawaii. Here's what's coming up in the next half hour. Does your heart melt when you see a puppy? Do you just yearn to hold and cuddle it? Well, maybe it's not a puppy you want. Maybe it's an older dog. We'll find out. If you're looking for a good addition to your family, no matter if it's a puppy or an older dog, you might be looking for a Labrador Retriever, one of the most popular breeds of all, with good reason. And no matter what the breed, accidents do happen, and sometimes it just takes some love and ingenuity to solve the problem. It's all ahead. Pets in Paradise TV starts now. With many things in the world, new is better. Not so, though, when it comes to dogs. In this segment, we'll tell you about the differences between puppies and older dogs, not just because of their ages, but because of their behavior, and why an older dog might be more of a match for your family.
Some of the benefits of adopting an adult dog are that they are already housebroken, they know basic commands. Typically, an adult dog will settle into your house routine very easily and very quickly.
While older dogs are cool and calm, puppies are just bursting with energy. That vim and vigor could be something you're looking for, but remember that dogs age faster than humans, and by the time they're a couple of years old, the first signs of health problems start to arise.
All of the genetic and the hereditary diseases, by the age of 2 to 4, we may not see full-blown disease, but we'll see, and as we get older, even more pronounced, we'll see what problems they do have. So you start already knowing what you've got.
There's no way to tell just by looking whether a puppy will suffer from a health problem in the future, but with an older dog, there are no secrets or surprises.
If you get a 4-year-old dog, you know if that dog has bad hip dysplasia because he's already showing signs. Whereas with a puppy, you're not necessarily going to know that, and you can't even take x-rays at least that are diagnostic until they're 2.
Puppies want to chew everything up, play all the time, and poop. These guys poop once a day to 2 times a day, and usually a lot easier to train or already trained.
Puppies are a lot like human babies. They need attention, lots of it. Older dogs have no trouble being left alone at home while you're at work or while the kids are at school. Like retirees, they know how to relax.
A puppy, on the other hand, has 2 modes: on, woo, and off, crash and burn. And very little time in the middle where they're just calm and cruising through the house.
Take it from someone who knows. Don't leave a puppy home alone, especially if you want your home to be the same way you left it.
Once I adopted a 3-month-old puppy, and it was a terror. He chewed everything. The housebreaking was rough. It was really difficult because I was working. Whereas with the older dogs, you don't have to go through all that. You don't have to worry if you have to leave them alone. Whereas with a puppy, you do. They'll tear up your house.
If you're thinking, my cute little pup would never be so naughty, we decided to do a little experiment to show you the difference between an older dog and a puppy. Here are our 2 test subjects. Trinity on the left is 3 years old. Pepper on the right is a puppy about 8 months old. Let's see how they behaved when he left them alone for half an hour. While Trinity stayed calm, Pepper tore into her toys and pretty much the whole room. For one thing, puppies' teeth. They chew on things as their teeth grow in. Secondly, they're babies, curious, and getting into everything is just how they learn about the world around them.
We found out with the dogs that had been through a lot of abandonment and loss of their families, or just want another family to live with them and just want to please the families. With puppies, they want to please themselves and just have fun.
So far, we've seen that older dogs are pretty independent. They've got some skills down, but they can be a little more complex when it comes to love, especially if they've had a rough past.
So adult dogs do enjoy daily walks, although they're not quite as hyperactive or needy as puppies can be. I do find that adult dogs are a little more snuggly and affectionate, so if that's what you're looking for, one of these dogs may be the dog for you.
If you're worrying about the old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, forget it. It's actually puppies that are harder to train.
Just like humans, we're finding a lot of our lifestyle choices, and we have a lot of nutraceuticals that can help them age gracefully, so to speak. A lot of these guys are living into their teens, 14, 15, 16, and even the little dogs are hitting 20s.
So if you do decide to adopt an adult dog, there are far more options for you. There are many, many adult dogs out there looking for their forever homes.
That's a lot of years and a lot of love that older dogs still have to share with you. They're calmly and patiently waiting to be adopted by you and join you as your forever friend. Animal adoption agencies report that puppies get adopted at a much faster rate than adult dogs. It's also true that small dogs get adopted more quickly than big dogs. But what about the color of animals up for adoption? Is that a factor? Do you know what color gets adopted most? We'll have the answer right after this. When it comes to color, adoption rates aren't very far apart, but the color that gets adopted most is golden. After that, in order of popularity, it's black, tan, chocolate, tricolored, white, apricot, gray, brindle, and in 10th place, chestnut. And maybe it's no coincidence that one of the most popular dogs, the Labrador Retriever, comes in the top colors. Now back to more Pets in Paradise TV. There are more than 500 dog breeds, ranging from the world's smallest, the Chihuahua, to the mighty Great Dane. Our goal is to pick one and learn all about it in It's All About the Breed. Today, it's all about the Labrador Retriever. Always one of the most popular breeds, and often is considered the most popular breed, is the Labrador Retriever. A family-friendly dog that was, and sometimes still is, used for hunting, but for the most part, Labs are known as terrific pets. Unlike the name implies, the Labrador Retriever is not from Labrador, but rather from another Canadian province, Newfoundland, where it was produced from what was then the St. John's Water Dog. But because of circumstances, the St. John's Water Dog was not being bred, and the breed died out eventually. Luckily, in the 1830s, an English Earl had imported some, and it was from those Labs that the modern breed evolved. The Earl was impressed with the Lab's water retrieval abilities. Labrador Retrievers are a top choice as a guide or rescue dog. In many countries, they're trained to help the blind, people with autism, and to act as therapy dogs. They often work as detection dogs for law enforcement. Labs come in 3 colors, black, chocolate, and yellow, and sometimes have white markings. The black Lab came first, and it wasn't until the 1900s that chocolate and yellow were recognized. Lab puppies are some of the cutest and most adorable puppies you can imagine, but they do grow up to be fairly large dogs, with males usually weighing from 65 to 80 pounds and females 55 to 70. Labs that are bred for show are a little different looking than those that are bred as working dogs. The show dogs tend to be a little smaller, shorter, and stockier, with fuller faces and a slightly calmer nature. They've got a short and dense coat. They shed twice a year, except in warm or tropical climates where they're losing their hair constantly. But overall, they're considered low maintenance. As with most breeds, Labradors need obedience training when they're young, but training a lab is enjoyable and they're quick learners. They're good apartment dogs, although they do need exercise, so they need to be walked and allowed to run in a dog park. As for temperament, that's where a lab shines. They're considered kind, pleasant, outgoing, and because they were bred to gently retrieve waterfowl, they like to hold things in their mouths, toys especially, but sometimes an owner's hand. But all the while, they hold items gently. They love to play ball and are great at frisbee. Labs are great with kids and other pets. Labs, of course, love the water and never miss a chance for a quick swim. Health issues are relatively few, although they are prone to hip and elbow dysplasia and often suffer from knee problems. Some labs also carry genes responsible for poor eyesight, retinal atrophy, and cataracts. Obesity is also a problem. Labs love to eat, and without proper exercise and diet, they can really pack on the pounds. Some studies have shown that up to a quarter of all domesticated Labrador retrievers in the U.S. are overweight. And now you know all about the Labrador Retriever. If you're thinking about getting a lab and you really like the chocolate color, what colors do the parents have to be to produce a chocolate-colored lab? We'll have the answer in just a moment. If you want a chocolate-covered Labrador Retriever, or a black one, or a yellow one, it doesn't matter what color the parents are. The two genes that are responsible for determining a lab's color are carried by all labs, and it's even possible for all three colors to be found in one litter. Meet Helen. She's not like other dogs.
Helen is handicapped, but in a dog's world, she doesn't know that she's handicapped. She just deals with it matter-of-factly and trucks on with it, and she races around the office, dragging her legs.
She came to the Oahu SPCA this way, and while she's friendly and loving, her difference can make her harder to adopt.
She definitely needs to be somewhere where she, can be taken care of very easily, picked up, use the bathroom outside, but a lot of times she is going to use the bathroom on herself without knowing it because she can't feel it.
So now the challenge, how to help Helen.
Helen came in with severe spinal issues. She couldn't walk, and my first thought was to find a way to get her mobile.
At this point, we think it's pretty eminent that she's probably going to need a wheelchair, and this is probably her best bet to have a good life despite her disability. And it's kind of inspired us to name her Helen, like Hell on Wheels, since we're hoping she's going to get around really good on her new set of wheels.
Getting her on wheels isn't an easy task.
We did some looking online for wheelchairs that are pre-made. They're a fortune. People really charge a lot for something that's very simple.
So he got creative, getting together spare parts from his home and the hardware store to create this wheelchair for Helen. The price tag? Around $10. But will it work? Let's see.
It's designed so that if she gets tired, she can rest without any discomfort. And she should enjoy this immensely. This is our first fitting for Helen on wheels. Okay, now get out in front of her. You're supposed to roll, little one. You're supposed to roll, not supposed to bounce up and down.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will Helen's wheelchair. It still needs a little tweaking.
I'm gonna extend the wheels down a little bit farther. That'll give her a better stable platform. Other than that, she was moving around okay, but she just needs to be a little bit more horizontal while she's moving. Okay, so this is phase 2. We revamped the wheelchair for her, made the wheels longer and sturdier, so she'll be more horizontal when she's running on her wheels.
After trial and error, let's see how phase 2 works.
First shot with the second revision, the bigger wheel, she went crazy and had a good time running around the whole place.
This time the wheelchair is a success. Held on Wheels found herself new freedom. But it wasn't long until doctors realized they may be able to help Helen's life even better by restoring the use of her legs. They decided to investigate, and in a minute, we'll see what they found out. Making a DIY wheelchair for a paralyzed dog is a good option to save money if you're creative and handy with tools, but if you're not, be prepared to spend some money. We'll find out how much doggy wheelchairs cost right after this. Making a simple wheelchair yourself can save you lots of money. A typical two-wheeled cart starts at about $250, but can go as high as $500. More complicated wheelchairs are even more expensive. There are companies dedicated to making wheelchairs and prosthetics solely for dogs and cats, and they supply vets with just about any item they need, from 2- to 5-wheel wheelchairs to full-body wheelchairs, and a variety of braces and other prosthetics. Helen is a young Chihuahua that came to the Oahu SPCA partially paralyzed, unable to use her back legs. She was fitted with a doggy wheelchair that helped her move around. It improved her life greatly. But doctors wanted to know if there was anything that could be done medically to give her the use of her legs again. They decided to find out. It began with an examination into the extent of Helen's damaged spinal cord.
There's varying degrees of damage to the cord, and those dogs that have severe cord damage that have no muscle control, no sensation, no ability to do anything with the back legs, that means that if they have no cerebral awareness to pain, then you've only about 6 hours to be able to help them, and then the cord remains permanently damaged.
But Helen didn't fall into that category. She had little muscle and little movement, but she did have a chance. So doctors moved ahead with the surgery to help her walk on her own.
Just about to start the surgery with Helen, and the biggest criteria and our biggest worry is whether that spinal cord is intact. We know the vertebrae are separated and broken, but whether her spinal cord is intact is everything.
The only way doctors could be sure that they could help Helen was to look at her spinal cord. If it's severed, there would be nothing they could do.
Well, we've just completed Helen's surgery, and we're very pleased that the spinal cord was intact. It was badly bruised, but it was intact, and that gives us a great deal of encouragement. Had it been severed, we would not have completed the surgery. But there's a real good chance that we will now have slow and positive improvement.
When Helen first came out of surgery, she couldn't stand at all.
And now look at her, standing tall and proud on all four.
It's been about 4 weeks, and since then we've been working every day to try to rebuild her muscles back here. Are you gonna stand? See, she's standing right now, which is good. Good job, Helen. Up, 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 up. Ah.
She really has done very well. We're very pleased with her progress. She now is able to stand. She's able to urinate on her own, and soon she'll start to take some steps.
It's been my job to give her physical therapy. which I try to get her to stand as long as she can in a natural standing position. I try to pull her legs back so she gives me some resistance, try to rebuild those muscles, give them something to work against.
In terms of her long-term success, there's a 60 to 70% chance that we would have normal walking or ambulation. It'll take a while, but we're very encouraged with her progress.
Well, we hope that one day she can walk on her own. And it's going to be a really long road toward that, but that's what physical therapy is. It's slow but steady.
While you might say she was meant to be hell on wheels, it looks like Helen's life has taken a turn for the better. Thanks to the help of many, she can now live a happy, healthy, more fulfilling life.